Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Power Vacuum. I'm Belmont, and I'm coming at you with a story that's off the beaten trail a little bit. Let me start prefacing this one with, for a while there, I didn't think these games ever came out in America until I saw one on the Switch not too long ago, and I was like, oh, I thought these were like Japanese exclusive games, but it seems like they're trying to branch out more. Because I first played these games a long time ago on my friend's like region locked PlayStation. He had a PlayStation that was from Japan, and he used it to play Japanese games. And I played a few of them on there, even though I didn't speak or read Japanese. I had no idea what was actually happening. I just knew that a lot of the games I played were kind of fun. I guess the first time I played a Katamari game was on there. No idea what was happening. I just knew that I was running shit over, and it was kind of cool. And the same with this. I played this RPG that was like, it was like a crafting game, but it was an RPG game at the same time. And it turns out it was Atelier, which when I first saw it on the Switch years ago, I thought it was Atelier, but then I found out this is a French word pronounced Atelier. I'm not sure if they pronounce it that way, but that's the correct pronunciation of the word. It means like to craft or something in French. But I thought this was kind of cool. I was looking at this video and I was like, man, I'm kind of excited for this game, believe it or not. And it's called Atelier Yumia. And it introduces a seamless open world, real-time action, and creative house building system to raise the IP to a global level. And it's, I guess this is like the cover art maybe, or the something whatever. That's what they're selling it with. Here's the video I saw. Oh, good. I'm glad it's embedded in this article. Another article from Automaton Media. I might be getting more from them because these people seem to be like pretty up to date with game news, and I had not heard of them until like a week ago. But Koei Tecmo. Oh, I didn't know it was Tecmo made these. Atelier Yumia, the Alchemist of Memories, and the Envisioned Land. Is that the whole game name? Because it's long. Yeah, that's the whole game name. Jeez. I thought it was just going to be called Atelier Yumia. I'm just going to say Yumia from now on. So the game has been announced for March 2025 release across all major consoles. The latest entry in the long-running series is more ambitious than previous titles, with a goal of making a global breakthrough. In an interview with 4Gamer, the game's producer Junzo Hosoi recently revealed how Yumia will push the series to the next level with an expanded open world, real-time action combat, and house building system offering high player freedom. The entire game is designed to cater to everyone from casual players to hardcore RPGers. Stretching back to 1997, the Atelier series boasts over 25 mainline titles and numerous 25. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so this was like a Japanese only release game, because they have 25 titles, and for me to I only know of like 2 or 3 of these games. The original one I played a long time ago, and then I think there's 2 of them on the Switch marketplace. Okay, but it has amassed a strong fan following over the years. However, Hosoi emphasizes that Yumia is not just for hardcore fans. I'm not sure if I should say this, but there have been aspects of Atelier games that compared unsatisfactorily, well, almost had trouble saying that, to other RPGs, but were forgiven due to being part of the Atelier series. Jeez. Like, Atelier was so much easier for me to say, but I want to say it correctly. I'm just sorry, it's now going to just be called The Series and Yumia. This time you want to create a high-quality RPG that many users who have never played the series before will like. Thanks to the success and high praise for the Secrets sub-series, which has sold over 2 million units, I think that's the one that's on the Switch. The team has more budget. Consequently, the devs of Yumia are really pushing themselves to take on new challenges, including technical ones. First of all, Yumia will have a vast open world of the kind never seen in the series before. Although Ryza 3, Alchemist of the End, and the Secret Key brought with it larger maps, movement was still restricted to hopping between points. Yumia, however, will allow players to move freely in all directions across an open field, giving a much greater sense of freedom and exploration. The experience of unlocking landmarks and journeying somewhere is the same. However, as Hosoi puts it, Yumia will offer more adventurous, open field gameplay. It will also be easier to explore the map vertically using the new jumping move, or wall jumping move. Okay. The real-time combat. The seamless movement and hybrid turn-based combat found in Ryza 3 will be further evolved in Yumia's action-like battle system. For example, characters can now move around on the battlefield to dodge enemy attacks. Although the battles will be more intense than previous games in the series, the devs have taken care to blend active and thinking-based combat to create a system that balances the two. Hosoi summarizes, we basically made it so that the players can ponder while fighting, giving them a pleasant action-like experience. The game will add frontline and backline positioning, new equipable items, and various other strategic aspects for the players to engage with as they choose. Now I have more questions, because when you say frontline and backline positioning, but it's real-time combat where you can move around and dodge attacks, that feels like so is it still turn-based, but turn-based real-time? Though that doesn't add up to me right there. I'm gonna have to see some like combat gameplay. The video up here has some combat gameplay, but it's all slowed down in slow motion to like emphasize the graphical fidelity that they've increased from previous titles. So it doesn't really show how the combat works that well. See, this is what I remember this game being about. It's like this crafting game. And I was like, oh, it's like a cool, like, almost, at the time I would say it compared to Dragon Quest, but with a ton of crafting in it. Like the combat, the alchemy and the crafting system in Yumia are designed so that the hardcore players can go all out in the pursuit of the perfect potion or item, whereas casual players can content themselves with an easy concoction, thanks to a function that adds materials automatically. Okay, so they've kind of streamlined it. Hosoi emphasizes that the team has made it so that Yumia's alchemy system expands upon Ryza 3 with the return of the Link morph-style synthesis system and an even easier to understand visual interface. Follow recipes and craft new useful items by manipulating the mana residing within the ingredients. The new building system, unleash your creativity. A big draw for Yumia might be its house building system, a series first, which lets the players freely create buildings. Although the areas you can build on are pre-decided, you can't just plonk down a house anywhere. Players can unleash their creativity with all manner of walls, roofs, furniture, and decorations. You can even place beds in midair, Hosoi explains. Yet again, housing is also geared towards players with different tastes. For those who want to go all out, tweaking every aspect of their dream house, they can. For those who find building a chore, the game has preset houses. See, now, this I'm going to be into. I originally used to not think I cared about house building stuff because Dark Cloud, a lot of people praise the crap out of that game, but I was like, this is boring. I'm not into like building houses and towns and stuff. I got over that after like the second SimCity, or so I thought. And then Skyrim put houses in, and I was just like, oh, let me spend like 100 hours out of my 800 hours of gameplay on Skyrim building houses, changing my houses up, adding like furniture and all kinds of stuff, bringing collectibles into my house. I just didn't know. I guess I full circle, right? I had come back around to liking the house construction part, or maybe because it was like a specific house, not like a town or a city, I liked it more. I can't tell you the exact reason, but I just was really into the house building aspect. And that's, this game is like checking all the boxes for me. I've been missing a good JRPG, so check. I love the crafting system in it. Check. We're gonna have the open world. Check. We're gonna have the houses and customization of that. Check. Let's go. What do we got here? Serious story with the familiar, cozy atmosphere. Yeah. So this is the one thing I will say about the game. Even though I couldn't understand the earlier game I played on the PlayStation, it didn't seem like most JRPGs, which had like very serious tones. Like when I compare this series to like Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VII is like Kafka, and this was like Dr. Seuss. So if you understand the reference, you understand the reference. If you don't, go read Kafka. I don't start with something like Metamorphosis because it's filled with a lot of allegory. Start with something like the Starvation Artist or In the Penal Colony. Those are just bleak stories that embody Kafka's belief that, writing should leave a wound in the reader. I think that's a quote from Kafka. I may be messing it up, or maybe just translated poorly because he didn't speak English. But that's what I'm saying. Like JRPGs were definitely more dark and dour, where the Atelier series was definitely more of a whimsical type of RPG. But back to the story. The story is shaping up to be more serious than the relaxed, pared down, I've given up on saving the world stories of many previous Atelier games where you're an alchemist eking out a cozy existence. For starters, Yumia is set in a world where alchemy is taboo. Really? Okay. However, Yumia must use alchemy as she explores a dying continent. Oh, see, dying continent. That's your typical JRPG trope right there. The world is dying. We have to save it. Along the way, Yumi and her companions will get caught up in various happenings, and the villains will also have a strong presence. However, Hosoi assured fans of the Atelier series' cozy atmosphere that even though it's a serious story, it's not dark and heavy, so I think you can still feel the series' atmosphere and style of storytelling. With this evolution of the series, the development team is hoping that Yumia will be popular around the world as a next-generation game. Hosoi cites the switch to a more fluid real-time battle system as one of these appealing points. Oh, I thought for a second he was citing the Switch, like the Nintendo Switch. That's the problem with naming your console a very commonly used word. It gets confused sometimes. As a next-generation game, Yumia is combining the old and the familiar with the new and improved. The game's look and feel, including its character design, have evolved but are still comfortably recognized and distinctly Atelier. Atelier Yumia, the Alchemist of Memories, and the Enslaved Land, or Envisioned Land. See, this is what happens when you get a long title. Is people get tired of reading it. Is scheduled to be released on March 21st, 2025 for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and PC through the Steam Marketplace. It will also get a physical release on PlayStation and Xbox. Man, they're going full spectrum here. Yeah, that is full spectrum. Now, my biggest concern is, will the Xbox One, the PS4, and the Nintendo Switch be able to handle this game? Because while I do appreciate people still putting stuff out on older consoles, I grew up in the old school console war age where when a game came out on Super Nintendo, it didn't come out on Nintendo. If a game came out on 64, it wasn't available on Super Nintendo. You had to have the next console to play the next console. You had the new generation to play the new generation of games. That's just how it was always been up until the past few years, when people and developers have been trying to cater to everyone. And I hope the game doesn't suffer for that. And I hope these older consoles don't suffer from it. It just seems like they need to stop this. We're well into the new generation of consoles. It's been 6 or 7 years since the Series X and the PS5 have come out. It's time to let people know, like, hey, we've moved on to the next generation. The old systems can't handle this shit. You got to move on if you want to play. Just too bad, so sad. That's how it's always been. Like, it was like the people who were complaining about Cyberpunk on the Xbox One. I'm like, dude, you're just lucky it's even out on the Xbox One. You should consider that like a boon, because that would never happen back in the day. 360 games did not come out on the Xbox. PS4 games did not come out on the PS3. Well, some of them did, but they suffered or they sucked. But, Watch Dogs, looking at you. But yeah, I'm kind of excited that this series is coming out in general. It's like I said, for a long time, I thought this was just a Japanese exclusive series and it would never, ever hit American shelves. Because there's still tons of games that you've probably never heard of because they don't come out in America. Especially if you're watching this, which is posted in the United States on YouTube in that region. But yeah, the check it out, March 21st, 2025. So less than a year away. Shit, almost 6 months away? Almost. We're getting real close to it being about 6 months away. Atelier Yumia, The Alchemist of Memories and the Envisioned Land. Again, that's a long title. Just call it Yumia. I'm sure it would be fine. Unless they plan on doing more. But yeah, I think you could have gotten away with just Atelier Yumia. Like, these Tales titles are getting out of hand too, but whatever. But no. I'm getting kind of rambly. I'm definitely going to be checking this game out. There's no doubt about it. I've been craving an open world JRPG that isn't Final Fantasy, because it seems the Final Fantasy games have gotten kind of stale as of late. And this might be like that fresh breath of air I need from a JRPG. But that's all I have for this video. Belmont out.